I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode I will be talking on what is criticism. I might have done an episode like this before, but I feel like I need to do a much more updated version and stuff. Honestly, I don't remember doing an episode like that. I think I have talked on criticism, but I more so have talked on my criticism, but I think that I should just talk on criticism together, you know, as a whole, not just, you know, mention me and stuff or just only talk about me. But I will be using, you know, my situations and the, you know, problems that I've had with quote unquote criticism as, like, you know, some examples. But no, here's the thing though, like with criticism, a lot of people try to call their personal opinions criticism, but I'm like, no, your personal opinions is your personal opinions about whatever it is, whether it's music, movies, whatever, you know. Like my thing is that if you go see Titanic and you say that, oh, that movie is trash, and you try saying that it's criticism, how is it criticism? How is you saying that movie is trash criticism? And my thing is that why is it a problem if somebody wants to go out and see that movie? Like, my thing is this. If I ask a person, you know, like, oh, how did you feel about this particular movie or a artist or, you know, a TV show, whatever, you know, I'm seeing like my options. I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I might agree with them. Maybe I might not agree with them. But I know the difference between my personal opinions and criticism. And then there has been times where I've seen people have told me that, oh, this artist isn't good, or that movie isn't good, or that TV show isn't good. And I watched it and I'm like, all right, I can see why that they don't like it. There's things that's missing. There's things that's different from your, like, for an example, the TV show Z Nation. It wasn't on that same comparison as like Walking Dead, but, you know, people tried to compare those shows together, but there were a lot of people out there that said that show was trash. And there was at times where I would watch an episode here and there and be like, all right, so I can understand. But that's the thing. I can't call it criticism, you know, based off of just the 1-2 episodes I've seen versus the numerous episodes that they've done and the numerous seasons that they have. I can't give people like, oh yeah, like I saw one episode and it wasn't really all that good. So my thing is this. I feel like that's when whoever I'm telling that to, I'm leaving it up to them on whether to, you know, watch that TV show Z Nation and stuff, and whether they're gonna like, you know, that show ended. Like I was kind of tripping off of that. I was like, dang, that show said I thought it was gonna be competing. I was like, it came on like after Walking Dead and ended before Walking Dead. I was like, that is crazy. But anyways, but back onto what I'm saying. Criticism. All right, what is criticism? But yeah, I'm leaving that option out there for that person to go watch that show for themselves. Now, if they take my personal opinion as like their finalized criticism, I'm like, okay, that is on that person. But if they go out and they watch that show and then they're telling me like, oh yeah, I like that show, I think that show is great, I'm like, well, maybe you've seen some episodes that I didn't, you know, see. But that's the thing, like with me, and you know, to like, I guess like talk on myself briefly, I don't criticize a lot of stuff. There's no reason to criticize a lot of stuff because I feel like when you put hard work into something, why should you criticize other people's, you know, stuff? Like, that's why, like, I feel like with, you know, movie critics, like, I don't know if all those movie critics are, like, you know, movie producers, directors, or writers, or whoever, you know, but you never hear where, like, Stephen King comes out and says that, oh, that movie was trash. Or who else? James Cameron or Steven Spielberg. You never hear of those guys coming out saying that a movie is trash. They just go and write some movies and they just go out and do their own thing. So I'm saying, like, that's why I feel like that all like, criticism isn't good criticism, especially if it's coming from people. Like, if I go, my thing, and this is another thing, I'm like, if I go up to a person and I ask them, for criticism, I'm not expecting them to give me that type of, or to give me criticism, but my thing is this: I feel like what good criticism is coming from people that are doing what you are doing, because they're not going to lie to you. They're not going to say some rude or hurtful stuff. They're going to give you advice. They're going to tell you, like, because you approach them, so they're going to give you advice. Because, all right, so let's just paint out that picture. So let's say I put out some science fiction movie, right, or some like crazy horror film, right, and I go and approach Stephen King, because a lot of people are saying like, oh, it kind of reminds me of Stephen King films, but they're saying that it's not there. So let's say if I am receiving some bad criticism or whatever, I'm gonna go up to Stephen King, right? I'm gonna go up to him and I'm gonna ask him, how does he feel about the movie? Now, here's what I think he would say. He's gonna be like, hey, I watched it, and do you want my truthful and honest opinion about it? I'm gonna say yes. He's gonna be like, you know what? It really wasn't all that good. There was these things missing. There was these things. So I'm going to take that down and write that as notes, because he's the teacher. I'm the student. Now, how does it look when you're in a classroom and there's other students trying to give you criticism on your work? You're going to look at them and be like, hey, yo, you're not the teacher. So therefore, you can't tell me something and then I'm supposed to no. If my thing is if the teacher tells me that, then I'm going to trust it. But if other students is telling me that, I'm not going to trust it. So that's why I will look at him for criticism, because he's coming from the same field that I'm coming from. He's doing the same thing that I'm doing. And it's funny because there has been times where people have said that, oh, that type of criticism isn't good. People that's doing the same things that you're doing. They try to argue with it and try to make it seem like that their criticism, and that's, to talk on that. When others try to make it seem like that their criticism is better than others, that's not criticism. Their criticism is not criticism. It's a personal opinion about what you're doing. And a lot of the times, like, it's going to be some rude and hateful stuff. It ain't going to be like, like them trying to give you advice. At the end of the day, they want you to quit. They want you to stop doing what you're doing because of that one thing that you messed up on. That one, so my thing is this. I've watched the TV show Z Nation. Didn't really like it. Compared to Walking Dead, I was like, no, I like Walking Dead a lot better. And there would probably be people out there that disagree with what I say. Z Nation is better. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to compete. I'm not trying to make it seem like if people say Z Nation is better, hey, that is how you feel about that show. That is your opinion on it. All right. But my opinion, I like Walking Dead better. It's a little bit more interesting. Now, I'm not saying that Z Nation is a bad show. I never will say that Z Nation is a bad show. There is just episodes where I guess I just couldn't catch on to it. But I can't even say, but now, if I were to say that me saying that Z Nation is a bad show, that's legitimate criticism, right? Like, oh, they haven't learned from Walking Dead, or it's not as good as Walking Dead, or, whatever. My thing is this. I haven't seen all of the episodes. So that's why I think, what movie critics, there might be some movie, and I feel like that's another thing. It's like, if you're not even into that type of stuff, like what they got going on in that show, but you might be into that same genre, then yeah, of course you're not gonna, there's people, my thing is this, everybody is different. Everybody's gonna be into different things. So that's why when people try to you push off that criticism on that, criticism on some other people, and they're gonna be like, well, that's where you like stuff different from me. So how am I supposed to look at your criticism and agree with it? You can't agree with something if that's not where you came from. Is that if that's not like the type of stuff that you're into. So Walking Dead, it's a little bit more of a realistic, zombie show and stuff, Z Nation, I think, didn't they have a guy on there, he was half dead and half alive, he was half a zombie, but he was he was half human or whatever. I mean, zombies are still human, but they just a different breed of humans and stuff. But he was half dead and half alive. I've never seen that in any zombie movies or TV shows before. But does that make it a bad show? No, I'm just not into that type of stuff. And I feel like that's what a lot of the times people need to overall say. If you are going to be criticizing something, I feel like that's the first thing that you should say. Hey, starting it off, letting y'all know I'm not into this type of stuff. So whatever I say, it shouldn't be your finalized criticism. It's just my opinion on it. All right. So That's why I think, that's why I like what review videos of like video games and stuff. Like for an example, the YouTube channel IGN. There's been times where they have reviewed bad games and have given it good reviews. Like for an example, NBA 2K. They'll review, what was their review on that game? Hold on for a second. NBA 2K22 IGN review. A 7 out of 10 reviewed by, I'm even gonna read off that person's name, but for both of them, the last gen and new gen, or next gen, they gave it a 7 out of 10. Now, if you ask me, 1 out of 10. That game is horrible, but I haven't played all of that game. But I'm just saying, based off of the stuff that I played, based off of the stuff that I did, based off of the money that I put into that game, that game is trash. There we go. Okay. But anyways, no, that game is trash. I hate that game. I'll never play that game again. But that's my opinion on the game. That's not legitimate criticism. I haven't played that game from beginning to end. I just only played like the beginning parts. Played maybe a little bit of some other stuff. But that was it. That was all that I did. I didn't, give that game like my full, because because the game came out maybe a couple of months ago, a few months ago or something, and usually it's like those games is like released like once a year, so it's like, okay, a year later, I feel like that is gonna it might take me a year to play that game fully, completely, 100%, get all the achievements, get all the players for my team, have a successful career in my career, what are some other stuff that they have in the game, create all the dope shoes I can create, they're gonna I haven't did all of that. And so, therefore, like, my opinion on the game, and that's what I'm trying to explain to people, the difference between opinions and criticism. I think that's why my overall, I don't know, I'm going to still debate on what I'm going to call this episode. But, yeah, people, like, that's, when I say certain things, now there is other people out there that has said that the game is good, that people like it. And I'm like, hey, you know what? To those people, they might have played more of it. They seen things that I hadn't seen. They had a different experience than I did. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand also, is that others is going to have a different experience than you did. So talking on me, for an example, talking on my YouTube channel, and people like to give me, quote unquote criticism and stuff. But in reality, it's their personal opinions. They had their experience where, TMossBoss has a bad behavior. TMossBoss uploads bad videos. TMossBoss did this. TMossBoss did that. But then there's others that had a different experience. And they're saying, TMossBoss makes me laugh. TMossBoss helps me with my depression. TMossBoss gave me advice on to be a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer or a podcast host or a comedian on TikTok or whatever. He gave me advice on that type of stuff. So there's going to be people out there with different experiences, but to go out and make a whole video about me, right? And then to say that, this is, my criticism on him. It's not legitimate criticism. My thing is this, and the reason why I say that is because, have you watched all of my videos? Have you sat down and understood who I am as a person? Have you sat down and listened to all my podcast episodes or watched all my videos on TikTok or, whatever it is with my name tied to it? Have you listened or watched all of that stuff? Have you listened to all of my music? I haven't really have a whole lot, so people probably have listened to all of my music. I don't know, but anyways, you people, you don't know me like that, okay? Not saying it like, okay, like, y'all, you don't know me, like I'm from the streets. I don't know stuff like that, but it's like you don't know all of me or all of my, content creating ability to give me full on criticism, like your finalized criticism, because it's not going to be valid. It never will be valid. As many times as you want to say that it is, it's not. We can sit here and argue about this until we are 80, 90-year-old people. It will never, ever be valid criticism, because I'm not finished with where I'm at. My thing is that I can be in the worst, stages of my career right now with content creating. And then that's another thing, though. Like, when people try to, push off that criticism on you, by, trying to, make you believe the criticism that they're saying about you. And, my thing is this, I am taking, what I do on YouTube and just all platforms, like Twitch, podcasts, and all of that, like all the platforms that I'm on, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I'm comfortable with where all right, maybe I might not be comfortable with where I'm at because I'm like, there's still a lot more growing to do, but not the growing that they want me to do. They want me to change for their benefit. They don't want me to change for my own benefit. They don't want me to succeed in what I'm doing right now. So that's why they're like, oh, no, you got to change it up. You got to be different, or you've never learned. You need to accept criticism and all this other dumb stuff that they've been legit repeating for I don't know how many years now. But it's funny how they like to get on me for saying the word like a lot. But I'm like, you guys haven't changed up yourselves either. You guys legit repeat the same stuff that's been said in numerous videos about me and everything else. So I'm saying y'all ain't changed either, okay? Once when you guys change, then I will change. But until then, ain't no change gonna happen. But that's the thing though, like with a lot of the people that have criticized me and stuff, they have always said that they're not serious with YouTube. They're not serious with content creating. So why would I listen to somebody that's not serious about content creating versus me that is serious? I have fun, while I'm being serious with content creating, but at the end of the day, the main thing, it's about being serious. It's about putting in the work. It's about, staying up like, day and night, just constantly working on content. Them, on the other hand, you guys got your own jobs. Y'all got your own professions. You got your own things that you're worried about. So at the end of the day, like, why would I listen? So let's say if it's PewDiePie, right? Like, it's a toss-up between PewDiePie, one of the biggest and greatest content creators on the platform, versus just a robot. That was like my biggest critic, right? So PewDiePie, he ain't going around finding people like me to criticize. He doesn't even know who I am. I highly doubt that he knows who I am. He probably never even seen one of my videos before. But I approach him, right? I show him a couple of my videos. I feel like with him, and it one of two things. It could be that he says that my videos are good, or he says that my videos are bad. But I do feel like that he would give me some sort of criticism like, hey, maybe add a green screen, maybe change this up, maybe do this, maybe do that. But he's going to be nice about it. He's going to be positive about it. I'm not expecting everybody to be nice towards me, but at the same time, or at least if he like not nice and all this other stuff, he's going to be respectful. That's one of the things that's going to happen is that he is going to be respectful towards the content that I post, towards the content, because he's probably going to, and that's a lot of times, like when people, they get asked that question, are you having fun with what you're doing? Yes? Okay. Be serious with it. Continue moving with it. That's never going to be that. My thing is this. That's not criticism. That's advice for life. Okay. That is advice that you take with you and you run with it. Okay. Find something. Be as serious as you possibly can with it, okay? Chase this dream of yours, but make sure you're having fun when you're chasing this dream. Trust me, it's gonna get stressful. You're gonna be at times where you feel like that you're legit losing your, sanity. You're gonna be going crazy. You're gonna be having some, some wild moments, but guess what? It's gonna all pay off at some point in time. And then, but in the middle of it, you gotta see the positive in it all. You gotta see, and my thing is that people are gonna want to look at that as like criticism. No, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, there's been times where I've came across content creators and they ask me for, my criticism on their videos. When you watch my YouTube videos, like my reaction videos, that's my criticism. Whatever I do in that reaction video, that is my criticism towards that person. Now, they can, and my thing is, like, I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, this video was good. And here's the thing. If the video wasn't good, I'm not going to sit here and publicly blast this person about their videos being, bad or being horrible or not being properly put together and stuff. I don't have time for all of that. I want to have fun with what I'm doing. My thing is this. I'm not going to have fun bringing down other people. So that's why when you see my reaction videos, I'm laughing, I'm having fun, I'm talking on stuff. I'm starting, like, I'm not starting up something, but like, I'm overall, I know, my thing is this, I know what I'm doing. So I, like, all of the access, like criticism and whatever they want to call it and stuff, I don't need that. So that's why I'm like, when I sit down and do videos, I'm not gonna be critiquing the people like how they, people criticize me. I'm like, no, I ain't doing all of that. That's doing too much. Because I'm saying, like, my thing is this. Imagine, do you think I would have had a successful career if I carried on like the people that have made videos like on me? Do you think if I would have been talking like that to McNasty or talking like that to KSI or talking like that, calling them out their name, but then I probably wouldn't be on YouTube to this day. So that's why when a lot of times when you see the people that make videos on me, they're not making videos on bigger people. They're probably making videos on people that's like equivalent to their, subscriber count or less. But they're never going to make videos on somebody like KSI. Literally, somebody that's doing the same type of videos as me. Now, when it will all stop is when I start blowing up, is when I start, and when they just get pushed further down the ranks. But once when I start blowing up, it's either they're going to try to like continue running with the stories and the narratives that they've already pushed about me and then try to, and the thing is, I'm going to say, hey, I'm willing to accept all types of criticism. But here's the thing, you're going to have to be respectful. And it ain't on some stuff where it's like, oh, I got to earn your respect. No, you are on my platform. So at the end of the day, I have the choice whether to take in criticism or to not take in criticism. That's not bad behavior. That's literally the same people that have been making videos about me for years now. What would you guys do if I sat around and was criticizing y'all right now? What would y'all do? Like, I'm sitting down putting these properly put together, great, all-time 5-star 4K quality videos, right? I'm doing all of that other extra stuff, and I'm criticizing you. What would y'all do? Would you take in that criticism? No, you wouldn't. Because y'all don't like me. So I know for a fact that you guys wouldn't take in my criticism. I know for a fact that y'all wouldn't. But that's just how it is, all right? That's literally content creating. That, my friends, is today's generation of criticism. It is people's personal opinions, and it's not legitimate criticism, all right? So, and that being said, I will overall talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to all my 38 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your next purchase. And make sure you use my supported creator code TMossBoss. And in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.